I believe that everybody in front of a podcast mic should be thrown in jail.
Yes.
Me inclusive.
This is super story.
Adeolu,
why did you start this podcast?
Yeah, that's so dramatic.
My memory fails me, but I feel like it's the way Olu drags me into everything.
Interesting.
Someone recently made a statement that you and Olu have been doing things for so long. And I'm like, now that I think about it, why don't I say no?
Wow.
Because, this podcast is like
an offshoot.
spin-off. Yeah, from the baseline community and everything. So it was after one of our meetings, I see Olu's message in my DM that, I'm thinking about a podcast. And I'm like, Olu, because I call him Starboy. And next is, would you like to come on as my co-host? Now I'm like, I was going to say no, because at that point in my life, I had just learned the power of saying no.
Just like you, I actually had thought of doing a podcast, but it was just like, why would anybody want to listen to me, right? I like to talk. I like to propagate my ideas. I like to dismantle strong. I like to penetrate people's minds. I love it.
But yeah, I've gotten that question a lot, right, in the past few months since we started this. And I guess because I've always loved media, especially videos, communicating with people. And I feel like as young people today, we don't really have as many relatable but still sound examples. Like social media is cursed with so much brain rot, and it's so sad that the perspective a lot of people have of Gen Zs and young people is appalling.
I think that's the dynamic that has made it so beautiful. You having a view on something, I having a different view, then marrying it together, and Olu is like,
If you're listening to this and you're not a Gen Z, you might want to turn this off.
trigger warning.
Well, welcome to Beyond the Base podcast, and this is a podcast by Gen Zs, for Gen Zs, and anyone else who cares to listen, where we talk about business, culture, technology, and the world as a whole through young Nigerian Gen Zs. If you're listening to this and you're not a Gen Z, you might want to turn this off.
Trigger warning.
Hi, I'm Baseman Olu, the one and only. If you don't know who I am, Google me. And to the left, I have
The princess, the queen, the dawn, Precious. Hi guys.
And we have the main character, Ibidapo, IBD, not Dapo. Don't try and call me Dapo.
Hi Dapo. I've missed you. How are you?
My name is Ibidapo.
Hi Dapo.
My name is Ibidapo.
It's a blue day. Hi Dapo.
My name is Ibidapo.
Lemon 1, lemon 2.
Oh my god. I'm sure you guys have missed us because we've missed you. And it's been a long way coming, don't you guys think?
Yeah.
It has
I have
been.
a question for you.
Yeah.
Actually, no, her. No,
Okay.
her. How did he drag you into this podcast?
This is super story.
Oh wait, should I start with why we started and then I pull two of you?
Let's. I want her to say how he dragged.
My memory fails me, but I feel like it's the way Olu drags me into everything.
Interesting.
Okay.
No,
fair enough.
someone recently made a statement that you and Olu have been doing things for so long. And I'm like, now that I think about it, why don't I say no?
Wow.
It's just a thought.
Okay.
So I believe it was because this podcast is like
An offshoot.
spin-off.
Yeah.
From the baseline community and everything. So it was after one of our meetings, I see Olu's message in my DM that, I'm thinking about a podcast. And I'm like, go Olu, because I call him Starboy. Go Starboy, I'm rooting for you. And next is, would you like to come on as my co-host? First of all, if you remember, I didn't reply that message for I think...
Precious is to Jesus.
No, I can't just give a response. Now I'm like...
have to think.
I was going to say no because at that point in my life, I feel like there were too many things and I had just learned the power of saying no.
So you're gonna wield it.
Yeah,
You gotta know.
Just wow.
You gotta
everybody gets to know. And around that time, not to get too spiritual, but I'm sorry, I'm a spirit being because Christ lives through me. So yeah.
Word.
So I'm going to get real spiritual. Sorry, guys. So yeah, around that time.
Apologize. Go on.
Around that time, my no was certain. But around that time, one of my friends, I was in Abuja 2 years ago. And someone said, I see you in front of the mic. She was like, do you have a podcast and everything? I'm like, never going to do a podcast. Those guys just go and talk about anything and it doesn't make sense. And we had that conversation and laughed. So fast forward, and at that period, she was like, "Oh, do you remember that dream I had about you?" I'm like, "I'm never gonna do a podcast."
Oh, she reached out again?
Yeah, like,
wow.
Do you remember that dream? And I just laughed. And I didn't take it seriously till I remembered Olu's request. I'm like, Holy Spirit, this is set up now. Like, why did the things I say? First of all, it was, I'm never going to leave Lagos.
Yeah.
Now, I'm never going to do a podcast. So now I'm like, I never say never. But yeah, that's how Olu teamed with the Holy Spirit to drag me. And it has been revitalizing.
Don't worry, we know you know English, don't worry.
Well, from the way I speak, I know English. But
I'm not attacking you now.
Ibidakwa is my arch enemy. But yeah, that's how Ulu actually got me on board. And it's been, he drags me every other time because, I said where I was in life was not very convenient for a podcast. So I accept it. At some point, they call me a ghost, but we thank God for creating time to ensure that we're here. Because, I was telling someone that, I think it was my brother. I was telling my brother that I really actually love doing this with you guys because it's not the regular sit, banter, talk about the most useless things. It's not jumping on trends, but it's actually conversations that make you think. You sit like, our last episode, that conversation, you now think that, my parents actually trained me with the very best as a Nepo baby. But like Ibidapo said, my own children they don't need to ask my children, are you a Nepo baby? Like, from the way they blink. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, that's how I got on here. How about you?
So, just like you, so this is even for me. I believe that everybody in front of a podcast mic should be thrown in jail.
Yes.
Me inclusive.
Well, wait. That means we're also...
Yes.
No,
everybody. As long as you're in podcast,
there is something called immunity when you're in government. So if you check, the first thing I said is the princess, the queen, the dawn. So I'm actually immune to jail.
Whatever. Anyway, so I've had that belief for the longest time. And again, right, it was from that base of like many podcasts, like they talk about like superficial things, right? But then there are a lot of podcasts that you learn stuff from, but there are a good number of podcasts that it's either one end of the spectrum, right? And it was when Adeolu reached out to me, my one was, it was a no-brainer yes. Right, like it was a no-brainer yes because of the type of person Adeolu is, right? We've Adeolu and I, back in uni, we used to talk.
was my roommate one time. We locked me in the room.
I don't know how I never knew you.
No, I was a very silent person in school. Like I was very silent. Yeah, I was very silent. Like people know my face, but like they don't know who I am. Right, okay, like you just see me, but you don't really know who I am. But yeah, so and because of the type of person, I had never thought of doing. I actually had thought of doing a podcast, but it was just like, why would anybody want to listen to me? Right, I like to talk. I like to talk. I like to propagate my ideas. I like to dismantle strong. I like to penetrate people's minds. I love it.
You like to be a main character.
Yes, I love it. I can sit down with someone. I can see a misconception, and I'll sit down with you, and I would explain you through it. I love it. The episode with Lauton, when we left, we were talking with
that Uber driver. Yeah, he was very insightful.
Yeah, we were talking with the Uber driver. When we dropped you off, we continued the conversation. We started from names, culture, tradition. We got into biology, mitochondria. Then we got into religion, right? And then when we ended up at Lauton's house and we got down, before he left, he turned to me and he was like, "You are a scholar. Like you somehow married everything together and explained it plainly." And I realized I do that a lot and I love it. I love it. So when Adeolu reached out to me, I was a no-brainer yes. And then I had told, like, at that time, Henry was staying at my grandma's house. So we were at my grandma's house. It was in November last year. We were at my grandma's house. Like, we were working on, like, cue ball and everything. And I just told, and my uncle was around. I was like, oh, yeah. So, like, my friend said, like, he wanted to start a podcast and he asked me to be on it. And I said, yes. And then Henry looked at me and he was like, ew. And then I was just like, it's Adeolu. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, literally, that's what he said. Like, at first, he was like, ew. And then I said, oh, it's Adeolu's. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Then that's fine. And so that's how I got into it. Like, he just reached out to me and was like, oh, I want to start a podcast. Like, I want you to be my co-host. No brain. Like, immediately, I saw it and I was like, yes. Like, I did not think twice about it. It was just a yes. Right?
Oh.
So, before Olu goes, I remember when he said, okay, it won't be just us. There is Ibidapo. And I'm like...
Yeah, she didn't know you, so it was like...
First of all, you are dragging me to... Because if you are close to me, one thing I do not like is camera. I love being behind the camera. I love being a creative. But for me to sit in front of a camera, it's like you are holding a knife to my neck. So first of all, you're dragging me on camera and you're dragging me with a total stranger. Like, I fought him for a whole lot. I'm like, I can't do this, bro. Then I remember our first... Like,
episode,
before the episode, when we all came together on the group, and there was something you said, oh, hi, I'm Dakpo, and the person I said was like, oh, hi, Dakpo, and he was like, my name is Dakpo. And I'm like, excuse you? Like, excuse you, I'm gonna call you what I want to call you, which is wrong, but because of the way you said
it.
I was like, you know what? So when we got on set, and I was like, hi, Dakpo. And you still said it. My name is Ibidapo. And I'm like, I'm not going to jail this guy. But looking at it, it's been... I think that's the dynamic that has made it so beautiful. You having like a view on something, I having a different view, then marrying it together, and Olu is like, who are these people? It's almost like we're now making him a guest on his own show. Like, I feel like it's actually so cool, if you ask me.
I think that was why for the longest time I kept saying, like, I'm not the main character. I'm not the main character, because I don't want people to forget that. Like,
it's actually Olu,
because I tend to take up I tend to take up space.
Yeah, you've been taking the air here.
That's your business.
So I think it's time to finally mention my why.
Yeah.
On starting a podcast.
Wait. Let's Adeolu, why did you start the podcast?
No. Yes, it's 1, 2, ready.
Go.
Adeolu, why did you start the podcast?
Yeah, that's so dramatic. But I've gotten that question a lot, right? In the past few months since we started this, different people asking me why did I start a podcast, right? And I guess because I'm largely an introvert, so I don't talk much, right? Most people it has come as a surprise to most people. But I've always loved media, especially videos, communicating with people, public speaking, and generally just intellectual conversations. And I feel like as young people today, we don't really have as many responsible examples, or maybe responsible is too deep a word, right? We don't have as many relatable but still sound examples. Like, social media is cursed with so much brain rot, and it's so sad that the perspective a lot of people have of Gen Zs and young people is appalling. Like, they think of young people and every other thing you can think about is nothing to write home about, or it's always about something derogatory or just highly nuanced. And the kind of conversations we have, especially in Nigeria, especially if you're on Twitter, is always very degrading, right? It's always basic, low-level, low-quality conversations. And I know a lot of cool people like these two, right? And I have a lot of friends that are doing amazing things. As young people, these guys are doing things that you wouldn't even have imagined 10, 12, 20 years ago, right? As young people, raising funds, leading NGOs, doing crazy, amazing things, right? And for me, I felt like a podcast would bring together this community of friends that I have, right? And also to share the kind of conversations we have, because I know there are loads of people that will relate with it. Also, I personally love podcasts like mad. I've been listening to podcasts for like the past 4 or 5 years. And honestly, it started because of Lagos traffic. The weirdest thing
Can't
ever.
relate.
I used to have a
As in
job that
can't
took me
relate.
hours to get to.
This guy is a true Lagosian.
Yes,
no,
he is
I
the
suffered
Lagosian.
more.
Yes, he is the Lagosian.
Born, bred,
Right? I mean,
grounded.
BRTU, Danfo, anything, just to get to work and back. And when you're stuck in traffic for hours, and if you're someone like me, my mind cannot be bored. Right? There's a difference between having like a diffuse, restful mind to think through creative stuff. But if you've been in traffic in Lagos for up to 2.5 hours or more, you know that that's not the best place to have a kind of, restful mind. So audiobooks and podcasts kept me sane for years. Right? So
Wait, are you saying your mind is calm and restful? Like
in traffic.
in traffic? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it can't be. That's why I used podcasts to like engage my mind, because again, you're hearing the conductor is fighting with the driver or with a passenger, and then another car tries to hit you. Like there's little space, and that is the commotion of Lagos as a whole. Right? There's always
That's interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting that he needs like in those type of situations he needs podcasts
Podcast, yeah.
to like to be safe.
Yeah.
For me, I need to be present
Yeah.
to be
in
sane.
those moments.
Because no, I need to be present to be sane, because my mind wanders so much that I need to physically see something to ground my
Engage
mind.
with it.
Because even I struggle with listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I try my best to always go back and listen to like episodes of our podcast because my mind wanders. Like when I mean my mind wanders, like we can be sitting down and we're talking and my mind is in something I read like 5 years ago. And how I saw something yesterday that reminds me of that, and I can connect it to this. I can connect it to, like my brain feels like an octopus's like tentacles that just dragging a lot of things. So I need to physically like look at stuff to ground my head. Like I'm just thinking about like it happened again, right? It just happened right now. As he was talking about his own, I was just thinking about the beauty of the human brain, how everybody is different and unique, and like what he needs to like step down. I can't use. I have to do what he is trying to like avoid to step down.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, literally that was it for me, right? Because I listened till today to a variety of shows, from comedy to tech to maybe not conspiracy theory. Let's not go that route. Not now, not here. To random things, like a lot of UK podcasts, especially by immigrants. I find them the most comical, right? Because there's just so much diversity. And I don't want to mention anyone now. Let's not give promotions to.
Do you know, like, as he was talking, I was thinking of all the podcasts I listen to.
Yeah.
And there is one that is now I'm not going to mention names in the name of Jesus, but it's now my fave because of how, so I'm very excited about the energy space.
Yeah.
And I can't seem to think of why, because I did engineering, yes.
Yeah.
But energy isn't really my forte in the engineering I studied. But like, I'm just really excited. I think maybe because of the projects we have worked on and the beauty of the things that can be created and how energy is never like destroyed, just dissipated and reused. And so it just makes my mind think about energy stuff a lot. And I found this podcast that actually talks about things that deals with energy and people in the energy field and communications in energy. And I'm like, wow. So yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, that's another beautiful thing about podcasts as well. There's a podcast for almost anything.
Everything.
And I love that. Because again, I started when I was still like an intern, right? Going to work, coming back home, and I was trying to learn a lot. And when you're an intern in a company, right, in the corporate space, you're like a baby, right? You're moving around, but you're in the space, but you're not in the space, right? They give you little things to catch you up or get you engaged, but you see the big boys doing the real work, and you're just thinking about, okay, how do I get to the table? How do I build myself? And that's also another thing that motivated me to podcasts, right? Because I just couldn't allow the chaotic nature of Lagos traffic to take away my productivity. So from listening to podcasts on data science, I would go into podcasts on faith, right? To the Bible, to business, to music, to you name it, right? So starting mine, I just thought about all the things I'd love to talk about. I mean, we started as a blog, like Precious had mentioned. We used to write stories about people doing different things across Nigeria and other parts of Africa as well. But we were largely just in the non-profit space or in the social impact space. But I already knew that there was so much more, right? And I knew so many people who could also chip into these conversations. So for me, it was a no-brainer to start this podcast, right? Also, when you've consumed a lot of media in one direction, you start to think about how you can recreate it in yours, right? Because, I mean, if you're only consuming, you're kind of cheating yourself. Especially in today's world where everybody is just using ChatGPT or other LLMs. If you're not creating, you're just going to put the next generation in doom. So, yeah, that's why I started the podcast. And as our first season is coming to an end, I really hope, people have enjoyed listening to us, some of our banter, some of our conversations. And yeah, we're getting up for a new season soon. And I just can't wait to continue doing this, right?
Yeah.
So,
Me too.
yeah.
So I feel like before let's ask, I know we can't get responses now.
At the moment, yeah.
But when you watch this, what has been your favorite episode? Like, what's that episode that when you randomly think of, like, if that was Mind Wonders, no shades intended. What's that episode that you think of, this makes a whole lot of sense? Or what's that episode that has made you want to do better in your space? Because at the end of it, that's what we want. We don't want to be just Gen Z's rambling, because we are not rambling. We don't want to just like pour on you, like he said. We don't want you to just consume. So what's that thing that has moved you to an action in a direction? Did you catch it?
Preach, mama.
Cock it.
So what's that thing that has made you stand up to do something? We actually want to hear your stories, because to be honest, we really are here because of you.
Yeah.
As much as we love it, we're here because of you.
Yeah, she just made me realize something I forgot to mention as well. Even in our name, right, Beyond the Biz was kind of drawn from the inspiration of being beyond the stereotypes of what people think the typical Gen Z is, or the typical young person is, right? Because in today's world, there are so many harmful stereotypes of us being either lousy, hard to work with, too distracted, lazy,
unfocused.
Exactly, unfocused. And people forget that we are the generation that's going to change a lot of things. One, because we're bold, right? Some might argue that the boldness can be likened to ignorance. Yeah. But there's a level of strength you have, even with some willful ignorance, because a child can see fire or a snake and still want to play with it. But an adult knows
the
better,
dangers,
right? Or the dangers of it. But we don't realize how much fear even limits us because of what we know. Like, so many people have been crippled by the fear of the reality of life, and they don't do as much anymore. They confine themselves. Just like the story of the circus elephant that gets tied to a chain all its life. So even when the chain is broken off, it never exceeds the boundary, right? So yeah, that's kind of where our name comes from. You know, we're beyond the stereotypes people put us in, and we won't fit into the boxes that society has already set for a generation like ours. So yeah.
And as Olu was talking, I remembered one post I saw.
Yeah.
And this person was speaking about his friend and failure, and the person was like, oh, I have this friend that has never failed. And in my head, I'm like, that's
not
very
possible.
Exactly. Like, how possible is that?
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say he has never failed because he doesn't try anything. And now he's building a multi-billion-dollar business, and that friend is his assistant, because that's what he is best at. And I think that's what the generation above us are scared of.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say scared, because like Olu mentioned, an adult knows not to play with fire because the fire can burn. But as a child, I remember this. I don't know why I remember this. I remember this as a baby. They kept taking me away from the lantern. I don't know. Do you know that there was a time I mentioned lantern in the office, and the person was like, oh my God, you know what a lantern is?
Oh, wow.
I'm not that young.
Like,
That's
I'm maybe young, bro. It was phasing out, but I still know what it was. And they were taking me away from lantern because they were wise enough to know that this is harmful to me. But I haven't really. I mean, I'm Gen Z. I really don't hear what you are saying. Like, I want to go and find out. And in the process, I couldn't even walk then. So how I stood up to get the lantern, and obviously it's bigger than me. So it fell on me, and it burned me bad. But yeah, so to them at that time, obviously it was going to be really painful. But I learned that, okay, this is hot. And the scar actually just keeps me going in some sort of way. Yeah. And it just shows that when you fail, like when you don't allow that fear of failure, you just find ways to do things. Do you know that you can actually use a sharpener to cut your nails?
Really?
Why do you know this?
Because as a child, I did it. No, I'm just actually telling you how fear limits creativity a lot. Yeah. And we're in a generation, I don't want to speak on the creators economy because that's a totally different topic. Thing, but we're in a generation where if you cannot take on the advantages you see, you will phase out. Because I know many people now that are talking about AI and how it makes you dumb and everything. And I'm like, AI makes you dumb because you want it to make you dumb.
Yeah, you're not utilizing
exactly. Because tell me why. Okay, let me not spoil anybody's business. But yeah, my project that I did for how many months? I can actually go to AI. I need facts on this. Send me the website for this, and I'm not telling you to write it for me. And that's the way this generation is. I am not telling you to do this for me. I'm going to work hard, but I'm not going to work hard and suffer because it's not a medal. I'm going to work hard and work smart.
That was one of the things that I used to think about coming out of school. So when I was going to do my IT, right, my mom was like, "Oh, do your IT in Lagos. Lagos has opportunities. You meet people and everything." I told her, "Mommy, please, I'm not ready to suffer. No. My father is in Abuja. I'm going to go and meet him there. Me, I believe in working smart, not working hard. Why should it stress me? Like, if I can find an easier, less stressful way to get the same results, why would I suffer myself?
Results, actually.
Better result. Like, why would I suffer myself?" And before, right, I used to think I was lazy because I was always looking for the easiest way to do something, and I swear I used to come up with the most creative solutions. And my uncle would just be like, "How? What? Why?" Right? And I saw this quote that if you want to get a job done well or easily, right, give it to a lazy person.
Well, I think it was Bill Gates that said that.
Yeah, give it to like they would find the most ingenuine ways to solve a problem just because they don't want you to stress them. Like at my last job, right, I remember when I first got in, our HOD then, she called me, and she's my mentor now. She called me, and my first interaction with her was, she first told me, "Don't worry, you're not getting fired," right? Because I had gotten the impression that she was a tough person, and she was people didn't really like her and all that. And she called me and told me like, "Oh, you're not getting fired." That she just wants to tell me the truth about the role they've given me. That she thinks that the role they've given me is mundane and it's not right for me. That she heard me talk in the interview, and that she was telling them that this role is not right for him. Don't give him this role. This role is not right for him. And she said that it was going to be mundane and I was going to get bored. And I heard that, and I told her, "I hear you, but I'm the type of person that I like to learn, and I see myself learning, right? So yeah, I may get bored, but the first few months, I wouldn't be bored because I'm learning." And she said, we had an agreement. I was like, "You know what? Let's give it 3 months. 3 months, we circle back, we review it, and if you're bored, we find something else for you to do. And she said that because she heard my interview and she saw that I was a technical person. What they were giving me was very routine. Truth be told, like I got bored. I got bored after like 18 months. Right, but the first few months I was learning a lot, and I would go sit down with her. I'm like, oh, we're doing things this way, why don't we do it this way, this way, because I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, why don't we do it this way? And she was like, oh yeah, that's the, I don't know if a lot of people in the team knew this, but like there was a particular way we were doing reporting and looking at reports. We changed it because of something I suggested to her. Like she was like, can you change this? I was like, yes. I switched all the reports overnight. And then we started looking at it, right? Because I told her that if we're looking at this metric, but like we're not seeing the actuality of what we are doing, to because of the way the economy is right now, we should see the actuality of what we are doing. So we switched it, right? And that's how we kept going. And then she decided, like, you know what? Let's set up Thursdays. Thursdays we have weekly review. We're talking about anything or everything. I will sit down, we'll talk, ask me, oh, what's up in your life? I'll tell her about my girlfriend, I'll tell her this is what's happening, and then she'll tell
Like
me,
your boss?
and she'll tell me like things that are going on in her life.
I agree with you.
She'll tell me things that
Had
are
a
going
boss
off in
like
her
that.
in her life, and then like we will laugh, gist, and then I would ask her, what do you think I should do? She'll tell me what to do, and then we'll get into work, and I'll tell her like, okay, this and this is happening, I think we should do things this way, and she'll tell me like, okay, I'm facing this, what do you think I should do? Like we had that, right? Even yesterday I was supposed to have a meeting with her because I'm working on a project with her and her friend, right? And I missed that meeting because I went to the bank. So I came back, I sent her a sorry, like, oh, I missed the meeting, like, I'm sorry, and all that. And she was like, oh, that's fine. That I even have some updates. She's doing another project that she's just been updating me on. And she was like, oh, I have some updates for you that we'll meet on Monday. I'll give you my updates and then I'll hear your thoughts, right? I'm 24. This woman is like almost, she's way older than me, like almost
40?
15 years. I don't think she's 40 yet. I think so, maybe. But like she's almost 15, 16 years older than me. And like we sit down and we talk like peer to peer, like this is the way, right? And the reason why I said that was because of the fact that what you said, right? That our generation, we find we're bold. Right? And we find we're not trying to we're trying to get at things. We're trying to
challenge
challenge
right?
norm.
Challenge norm and do things. Like my former manager, like at Jumia, right? She was very big on like, oh, Ibidapo, I trust your work. Like I know that if I give you this thing, you do it for me. Yes, I used to, I'm not even gonna lie, when I was there, I used to have like days where I'll just be like, oh, my brain has shut down. I can't really do much. And she would just look at me and I was like, oh, God, these Gen Zs. But like, and she was like, these Gen Zs, but she knows that I can rely on Ibidapo. Like, yes, so like, oh, my brain has shut down. Ibidapo, don't you have work? I'll be here like this. I'll be scrolling through my phone. And she'll be like, Ibidapo, don't you have work? I'm like, yeah, but my brain is shut down right now. But I'll do it. And she'll just look at me. And what the way we had it was like, okay, when do you need this? Right? How do you want it done? Right? And in the office, like you see me, I'll just be scrolling on my phone. It will look like I used to feel like somehow because it will look like I'm not doing anything. But by the time I turn out my work, they're just like okay. In meetings, I will speak up. I'll say what's on my mind, and I would challenge, like, okay, this is the way I think about it. Okay, why are you thinking about it this way? Like the fundamentals of this is negating the way you're thinking about it. And of course I'll now say like, oh, the way they've been doing business, like you can't just switch, like those type of things.
And like, I mean, there is so much beauty to unravel in everything that is being said, because one thing I'm grateful to God when Ibidapo was talking about was bosses.
Facts.
Because my current supervisor, shout out to you, like, I am forever grateful, because when I got in and I was like told that PR manager will be my supervisor, and in my head I'm like, ideally that's not meant to be, but down the line I'm like, God really gave me this supervisor. And to
Raptors.
I don't want to mention, I'm going to mention names.
Okay.
Amaka, Kene, these guys are way older than me, but my office, we do first name basis. You guys are awesome. And I say this because Amaka will call me to her seat. And she's like, can you just turn on your brain? Like, I'm actually not joking. Like, in meetings, she'll be like, Precious, I know it's like, you've put on the off switch. Like, turn it on. Like,
wow.
There is so, like, I know you can do this. And there are times, because of the industry I work in, it's very
fast-paced,
regularized. Regularized. So you can be creative, but please be creative with sense, because when they slap you that fine, excuse you. But yeah, and that's one thing. So I could come up with the craziest of things. I remember one of the things I came up with. I'm like, Kenneth, so this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And Kenneth just looked at me and he's like, go ahead. I'm like,
are you sure?
He was like, go ahead. We'll go and meet my ED. ED Shino, shout out to you big time. And like, that's another person that, like, I'm just saying this to say that the value or the role of good bosses in the life of Gen Zs, because that's another thing ED Shino helps me to see is that you are young. Yeah. Your mind is wild. Yeah. So don't let the cap limit you. Don't let the fear of every other person limit you. And I'm just like, I mean, not everybody gets this. I get it. I've had bosses that when you wake up, like there was a time it was remote and I was in my parents' house at the time. So my mom walked in and she's like, even we don't talk to you like this. Like, it was Monday morning and this man was shouting.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think it was our last episode I said it. When this comes out, it won't be our last episode, obviously. But the last time you were here, the second to last time you were here, like, the manager you have in any company determines your experience in that place. Because I was still an intern when my first boss told me that. And I didn't quite get it. Like, obviously now you say, yes, sir, I get you, I get what you mean. But over the years, right, having worked for different kinds of people, like, it's facts, right? Like, I love to do like Precious, shout out to Abib, even though you probably never listen to this.
Tayo, Kene, Amaka, Idishino, I'm going to send this episode to you because you guys have shown me that being a Gen Z is not a curse in a world where everyone thinks it's the worst thing to happen. No, I'm serious because there are rooms you enter and you're like, I expected you to be bigger, I expected you to be older. And I'm like, do you want my older age or a bigger stature or the work I'm giving you that is good?
I think it's a mix. So for me, I love studying or just looking at different generations. Gen Xers are like probably I won't say the most hardworking generation in the world, but they have this love relationship with deep work. The millennials, no offense, I know I'm going to offend people by saying this, but millennials kind of grew up in a struggle era, right? 2008 financial crisis, internet bubble burst in the early 2000s, a lot of crashes happened. So many of them were either in school, entering uni, leaving high schools, entering the workforce when the world was generally in a broke era. So all they know or respect is grind. Whether the grind is smart or not, extremely productive, as long as you're grinding and you're making money to face forward, that is the way. So for them, having a generation come after them where we're like, we will not send you. If your job is after my mental health,
I would disgrace myself.
To them, it's so ludicrous. They're like, who are these ones? Don't you guys understand the principles of XYZ? And I'm like, we don't really care.
Sorry to cut you there. If as they're asking, don't you understand the principle of this? I like to ask, don't you understand the principle of the mind? Like, do you know the power the mind holds? Like, thinking about it, when you think about something, and I remember, shout out to my pastor, when I first came into Lagos, like, I mean, everybody just knew that I didn't want to be here. My supervisor taunted me with it for the longest time. As I'm getting to the office, his first question is, Precious, do you love Lagos? How can I love this? God. But I remember my pastor one evening, I had just got back from work, I was in church, for midweek service, and he looks at me, he hugs me, and he points his head like, your mind can make this work. You are meant to be here. And he kept telling me that thing. Over time, he has told me that thing. And I realized that, yes, these things look very big.
Yeah.
But that's one power that Gen Zs have. Their minds. Like, bro, this thing, like Ibidakwa was talking about in our last episode, about how his mind has just expanded to what his business can build. Like, so when they ask, do you understand the principle of hard work? I'm like, do you understand the principle of the mind?
Yeah.
I need to set it in my mind. Like, let me see it. Let it be there. Let me be able to visualize it. Then let me be able to think of creative solutions that will not kill me.
Exactly. Me, I don't want to die.
Also, again, no shade to previous generations, but they kind of put us in the situation we're in the sense of a lot of economies are failing or are, obviously, economies dwindle, right? Especially globally, right? And if we're challenging the system, it's kind of, it only makes sense. Like, I used to work for a blockchain company before, right? And a lot of their generations hate anything crypto, anything blockchain. They think you're just wasting your life, or is a front for Yahoo. Unfortunately, right? But one thing they don't realize is, because getting deeper into like that sector and also finance, is like a lot of things that happen today are just creations of people that I won't say we're really that smarter than us, right? When did pensions start? Pensions didn't start. They started roughly like 100 years ago or less. So many people before then probably just used to walk to their death, unless you had enough money to survive, right? When did the stock market start? That was probably like the 1800s, like the 17th century. There was nothing like that before. Somebody came, brought up an idea, invented it. So people come in making digitalized assets, making digital currencies, doesn't make it stupid just because. It's different from what you have. Because there was a time I was learning Forex, and I know how adults in my life or older people in my life were treating as if I was going into criminality. Do you get? Or even learning about crypto, they always have one story of one friend that lost all their money,
One friend
all their
or somebody that knows somebody
into something, and for them that's enough justification to kill your curiosity. And I hate that, because look, it's life. I don't like to say this, but there's only one way it ends.
Death.
Exactly. Right? So why limit yourself in your thought patterns? And again, it all boils back down to what we're talking about in our last episode. Especially if you live in Lagos or Nigeria in general, you're already on survival mode. So everything takes the back seat. Ambitions, drive, it's all about, would this thing put food on the table? And there are so many people that talents have died because of that. They don't even see opportunities again, or they just believe certain opportunities are way out of their sight. And I don't know, I just feel like our generation is we are primed to not only challenge that, but like just break the stereotype. So yeah, that's what we're promoting on this podcast. And yeah, you only got one life to live. That's one thing I always remind myself about when I'm stressing about things that don't have everlasting value. That's where I like to put it, right? They don't have long lasting value, because if the world ends for you today, the rest of the world moves on. Unfortunately, no matter how much they loved you, if they don't eat in how many days, they will die.
They will join you.
Exactly. They will join you. So they will eat.
They want to.
Even after all the money, right? They have to get up and make that money, because without the money, things don't get funded. So if you're going to cut yourself short because of that, or because of the fear of what people would say, then almost at the end of the day, you only have one person to blame for that.
Yeah.
And it's true.
And then another thing I would want to say is that even to our own generation, right? You can be what you want to be, like, and you shouldn't I think what we need to do, especially as a generation, is to learn the principles. Like, learn the principles of how money works, learn the principle of why society is set up, read history. Like, these things, like, it helps you to be more methodological and systematic in approaches that you want to take. You will be able to know, I can do this thing this way, right? And it will most likely turn out this way, because this is a pattern I've seen, like, that has worked throughout history, right? Now, should I say this? I like Elon Musk, right? And I like him not because of his person, right? I like his mind, right? I've listened to, I've read, there's a biography about him. I've read it. I've listened to about 2 podcasts about him. And that was one of the initial things that fueled my
ambition.
My ambition, right? And it was a thing of, right, I saw that he built one internet company, sold it, then he used that money and put it in another company, got ousted, used that money and put it PayPal, and then now put it into what he's currently doing. And what he said the money. So what we said in the last episode about Mr. OT dollar, right? About how like, money is meant to be spent, right?
Yeah.
The money that he has is to create things that he wants to see, and his ambition to go to Mars. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is the type of person that I want his drive. Like I would, you people don't like him, that's fine. Like I want his drive. Like the type of ambition he has, I want it as well. I don't really care about making man interplanetary, but that ambition is so large that every waking moment he is focused on getting that ambition. Like this guy literally was sleeping in the floor of his factory, like just making sure the rockets, like that's the type of person that's so consumed by his ambition that he's just going to make it work. And the value follows that. And that's literally what I'm applying in my life now. Like the ambition that I have, last episode I was saying like I worked 36 hours straight just to make sure like that Sunday was going to be a success. And like I see myself, like I look at Bishop David Oyedepo, I look at Pastor Aaron, I look at people like Mark Zuckerberg, like those people that are high up. Right. Yes, you can have your what they call it, what you believe about them, right? But these people have put their principles that get you to that point, right? There are things that it's just life is just set up that way, right? And if you learn those principles, it's not even about the money. It's not about the money. The money would follow. It's not about the money. It's not about the money, and that's like one of my own like motivations in this podcast is like to reorientate like, especially our generation and the ones below us, the way we think about things, right? I know, like, this guy don't turn me to celebrity, like, two times, people walked up to me and were like, "Oh, hi, I knew you from Adiolo's podcast, blah, 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 my name is this," and I'm just like, okay. And I'm like, I think I saw
one in Abuja.
No, 2 were here in Lagos, right? So I saw one of them again with him at church, and this guy put me on the spot, and I was like, "Oh, do you remember her name?" I was just like, but like the thing was that he was. I remember the name. I was just trying to remember it. I was just like, yes, this person. She was like, oh,
it's because she was blonde when she.
When I saw her, she was blonde. But there was something somebody else said that I like the way your mind works and you paint pictures, right? And that's exactly what I want to do. Like I said, like to see the way someone sees something and to reorientate their mind. Because I grew up with that. I grew up around a lot of adults, right? I was always talking to adults. There's this particular uncle I have Uncle Benga, shout out to him, right? He was the person that my shenanigans, I'll go and talk to him about, right? I would talk to him about my shenanigans, and he would listen to me, he would joke with me, and then after that, he'd be like, okay, I understand this and this, but this and this and this and this is how you should think about it, right? Like I had that all my life growing up, and now I'm like, okay, I've had this, I've turned out this way, other people need to have this.
That's lovely. So now I want you to do something. If you're watching this, comment on this video with your favorite episode. This is our 15th and last episode of season 1, right? So we have something cooking for season 2. Who wants to tell them?
Shh, a secret. Can I trust you? Can you keep a secret? Can we tell them?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think I would start off and then she would finish.
Okay.
Go with you? Is that good with you?
That's cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
So our next season is sponsored by...
Proudly sponsored by... Drum rolls, please! It starts with the M.
We have a U.
And why do you carry 2?
Yeah, but...
You get it? You get it? So everyone is sponsored by...
Yeah, and I think that's a wrap.
No, I'm supposed to do that.
Sorry, man.
I'm the film director, guys.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
And on that note, season 1, episode 15, it is officially a wrap, guys. Thank you for joining us and staying with us thus far. We actually do love you. Bye, guys.